So for this video, we're going to be looking at some word problems. Now, you've been doing word problems this week, but I wanted to kind of revisit the idea of the angle of depression and angle of elevation, as well as how to recognize different types of word problems and how to make choices about what to use to solve them. So in this one, we've got a hot air balloon pilot sights the landing pad at an angle of depression of 47 degrees. If he's about 1.5 ground miles away from the landing pad, how high off the ground is the hot air balloon? All right, so we've got a hot air balloon up here. Okay, we'll just say that's our hot air balloon. And we've got a landing pad on the ground, so this is where he's going to land. And we know that the hot air balloon pilot, so he's standing here and he's in a bucket, okay, he sights down at the landing pad, and we know that it's an angle of depression of 47 degrees. So remember, the angle of depression, he was looking forward, now he's looking down at 47 degrees. If he's about 1.5 ground miles away from the landing pad, so that means from the landing pad, or where he's looking down, is 1.5 miles. How high off the ground is the hot air balloon? That's this one. Okay, if we know that the angle of depression is 47 degrees, we also know that the angle of elevation from the landing pad to the balloon is 47 degrees. So my 47 degrees goes right here to make sure that it's in my triangle. So I got a 47-degree angle, so I've got an angle, a side, and a missing side. There's my right angle. That means that I'm going to have to use one of my trig ratios to solve the problem. So I would use, let's see, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. I'm going to use tangent. So tangent 47 is equal to x over 1.5. Going to cross multiply. X equals 1.5 tangent 47. And that will give an answer of 1.6 miles. So x equals 1.6 miles. If that may be covered by the DOE series, so I'll put it over here. X equals 1.6 miles. All right, next problem. Given a rectangular field 200 meters long and 600 meters wide, how far will a tractor go if it drives from one corner to the opposite corner? And this one kind of came with a picture that was not labeled. So let's label what we've got. So we got this rectangular field 200 meters long and 600 meters wide. How far will a tractor go if it drives from one corner to the opposite corner? So that's here to here. Now, you should notice that we have two right triangles. Anytime we cut a rectangle in half, right down the middle, down the diagonal, we're creating two right triangles. I know that both of my sides are 200 meters and both of the other sides are 600 meters. So if I only focus on one of these right triangles, so I'm going to just kind of scratch this one out. I can figure out what that side length is right here, because I'm given two sides and I'm looking for the other side. If I'm given two sides and looking for another side, I know that I have to use Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to use 200 squared plus 600 squared equals x squared. 200 squared plus 600 squared is 400,000. And that equals x squared. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So x equals the square root of 400,000. Which gives me 632.5. So 632.5 meters. That is the distance the tractor would drive if it went from one corner to the other. One last problem with angle of elevation. Gertie the gopher is looking at a tree that is 100 feet away from her nest. If the angle of elevation between Gertie's nest and the top of the tree is 23 degrees, how tall is the tree? So we've got Gertie the gopher's nest, looking at a tree. Okay. We know that Gertie the gopher is looking at the tree 100 feet from her nest. The angle of elevation from Gertie's nest to the top of the tree is 23 degrees. How tall is the tree? So I'm going to look at this, and I've got opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Means I'm going to be using tangent. So tangent 23 equals x over 100. Now I'm going to cross multiply. X is already going to be like by itself like it was earlier. X equals 100 tangent 23. Put that in the calculator. And I get 42.5. So x equals 42.5 feet. So that's how tall the tree is, 42.5 feet. So you got some questions to answer.